So to get us started, I'll start by inviting our first speaker. And our first speaker will be Fabiola Granja. Graduated in Business Administration at the University of São Paulo, and with an MBA in Marketing from ESPM, Fabiola has 19 years of experience in marketing and advertising. She has worked in companies like the 20th Century Fox, GloboTV, Abril, WMcCann and Sapient. In 2010, Fabiola became responsible for delivering customer media solutions to top-tier clients at Abril, driving solid sales revenue. Now, Fabiola works at Outbrain, the world's largest discovery platform. She was a keynote speaker in some events such as Affiliate Brazil 2017 and local roadshows in Brazil, and attended some of the most relevant events in the segment. So, join me to welcome Fabiola.
Today I'm going to be talking about how content can drive measurable results. Quick introduction, some of you already know me. My name is Fabiola. I am from Brazil. I've been here for 1 year. I work at Outbrain as a performance strategist. And this cute guy here is Nico. There are two things that I miss the most here in Australia. One of the things is the warm weather. I'm done with this cold. And the second is Nico. Let me tell you a bit more about him. So Nico, he loves videos, but he doesn't like banners. And he's not alone. 50% of these clients are never seen. Actually, there's something called banner blindness. We just ignore the banner ads whenever we're reading something on a publisher site. And if people first ignore the banner ads, now they actually block them, right? How many of you actually clicked on a banner ad today? Raise your hand. Don't be shy. How many of you read some piece of content today? No. Thank you. So, here's a fun fact. You're 40 times more likely to actually have twins than to click in a banner ad. This is how people spend their time online. If you take out what search and online shopping, we're talking about 74% of our time actually reading consumer content. People love it. 84% of the consumers say that they actually read some kind of content in their purchase process. It takes more time for us to actually make up our minds and take a decision, right? So I'm going to play a video for you guys.
This commercial is just 1 minute out of the 10 hours a day you spend glued to your screens. That's 152 days a year. That's 32 years of your life. Scrolling stuff, clicking stuff, emojiing stuff, watching other people's pictures of their cafe macchiato, or their dog, or their baby, or their drunken baby, or the view out of their airplane window, or a rainbow. Watching bloggers take something out of a box. Watching reality shows. Watching shows about housewives. Watching shows about housewives in a different state. Watching dragons. Watching 8 years worth of one show about a Colombian businessman in one evening, watching someone else playing a video game, watching cats being cats, swiping left, shake, right, deciding if a picture is a labradoodle or fried chicken, deciding if a picture is a chihuahua or a muffin or a puppy or a bagel, reading comments from someone you barely know, posting about something you don't care about, telling 647 people what's on your mind, reading what's on the mind of 647 people, reading a tremendous amount of opinions about politics.
Yeah, this is a commercial from Nike, but a very smart one. So hectic, right? We are bombarded with more than 5,000 pieces of content every day. How many messages do we really interact with? So marketing has a marketing team, right? The old strategy, the push strategy doesn't work anymore. They need to come up with a new plan. So it's the pull strategy, where the consumer is based, it's focused, the center, it's about creating a relationship with the audience and by telling a story. Marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, it's about the stories you tell. So be the story you want to tell. So that's why content marketing is such a hype now, right? It's not a new thing, of course. What is content marketing in simple definition? It's to create and distribute relevant and valuable content in order to attract and engage your target audience and then drive revenue. But hey, don't take the easy road. Don't go to five tips, 5 mistakes, 5 steps. Don't do that. You have to create a robust plan to actually engage your audience and make them change their behavior. Right? So it's all about habit shaping. You want to inspire and change your audience behavior so that they can buy your brand and not go to the competition. Consistent value delivers ROI. If you keep sending them messages, valuable messages, they're going to perceive your brand in a better way and actually opt in for your brand, not for your competitor. It increases your ROI. So it's all about how you create the plan. There are 4 steps, 4 building blocks in the content strategy. First of all, define your KPIs. What are my objectives? Are they consistent with my company's goals? How am I going to create the content? What is the value that I need to deliver? Who's my audience? What do they want? What are their pain points? What are their needs? You have to study your audience. One size doesn't fit all. So you have to really be cautious on how you talk to them, how you create the message, and how you actually create the headlines to trigger them in order so they can click on your message. How you distribute, so distribution is very important as well. I'm going to talk a little bit further about it. And how you measure, because you can do, you have to measure your KPIs to see if your strategy is actually working and delivering what you were expecting. So define your KPIs. It doesn't matter which one you choose. You can pick as many as you want. It really varies according to your vertical, according to how mature is your market, according how, the step of the funnel that the audience is. You can have as many as you want. If you're launching a content hub, go for traffic, measure the post-clicks, the post-click metrics. Oh, I'm nervous, this is the first time I'm talking to such a big crowd in English. So if you're watching an ad, go for ad download, go for lifetime value. Know what the users are actually doing after they download the ad, and so on. So again, know what your customers want. Usually when you create content, you can go, you can be supported by these 5 verticals: educational, entertainment, information, utility, and inspiration. Of course, some verticals tend to be more focused in each one of them. For example, B2B. I was reading the other week for B2B. Decision makers, for 43% of the B2B decision makers, they need to read between 3 to 5 pieces of content until they actually engage with a salesperson. So it's all about giving educational content. You have to drive them down the funnel. So this is an example, Open Forum. They've been advising SMBs on relevant stuff for 7 years already with us. Inspirational content. We're always dreaming about traveling. What's our next destinations? So New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, they created this series of videos talking about how New Zealand is amazing so that they can attract more visitors. As simple as that. Here's a good one. How can a toilet paper brand actually engage their audience? They can't go on personal, right? So they created an app that helps you find a public toilet nearby. Good one, right? So, regardless of what you create, distribute it natively. Native experiences are the best experience you can have. So you can go on, Google, you can do Facebook, you can do Outbrain. And actually, native creates trust, right? So that's what you want from your consumers. Quick one, 44% are more likely to trust a product if they see it on a premium publisher site than anywhere else. So if content is king, this is not new, but I'm going to add something here. If content is king, distribution is, where is it? Oh, here. Distribution is king, is queen, and data is God. So, and that's our core, that's what Abril does. We've been doing this for like 12 years now. We are a discovery platform. We help people discover what's relevant and interesting and timely for them. How do we do that? We do that by our smart feed. We basically partner with, let me see if it's working. Yeah. We basically partner with publishers so that we give them our technology so that we engage their users by recommending more content from them, and then they allow us to serve paid media, paid campaigns there as native ads. So that's that's our smart feed. We bring content from CNN itself, but then we bring content from other brands in China. So we serve these messages when the users are really looking for more to read. It's very powerful. It's a very powerful moment. If you want to look for something, you go to Google. If you want to see what your friends are doing, you go to Facebook. What about for everything else? You have Outbrain. Basically, again, we've been powering content for 12 years in 80% of the premium book publishers in the world, and by that, we are able to collect lots of data. So we're talking about 800 million people monthly, and almost 2 billion recommendations a day. So we collected a lot of data, and that's what we use to actually deliver the messages. So we're able to create an interest profile for each and every one of the users that I'm talking about, so that we can serve the personalized recommendation for everyone. So if me and you guys go to the same article in MSN, we're going to see the recommendation that is powered by the real interests. So again, be smart how you distribute your message, non-intrusive, nobody likes banner ads again, personalized by real interest, brand safe environment, and scalable and competitive cost. So what's next for content marketing? Fourth block, how to measure all these things. We know that the customer journey has changed. You have to be aware, you have to be cautious on what message you're going to deliver to what audience, right? And how you're going to track that information, and how all this strategy actually helps you with your objectives. So track everything, and how each piece of content actually delivers whatever you expect. One example from Ford, just so you know how we kind of help them to drive their target audience down the funnel with different pieces of content. They were launching a new sedan, so all these steps so the audience actually decides for a brand. So first step, we promoted a earned media piece of article. So when publishers kind of talk about cars in general, they have to deliver the message, the article. We promoted this third-party earned media, talking about different cars, different models, and of course talking good things about Ford sedan. So we created an audience pool of readers so that we could retarget them later with known media, driving traffic then to Ford Sedan's website, where the user could read about the specifications of that sedan. So first they were kind of, let me see what's available. Now let me see if this car actually matches my needs, right? So I'm not considering Ford Sedan. Cool. Third step, we actually promoted a blog article where the user could customize their own car. So again, they're engaging. Does this work for me? I have 2 kids. Is this big enough for me? I love, I'm more, I worry about safety. Does it have an ABS brake? Something like that. So everyone could actually personalize their own experience sedan. And then later, we promoted book your test drive. So, every piece of content had their own kind of KPI. We tracked everything. We also tracked the drop-offs in the funnel so that we could retarget them with a specific message. Here's another example from General Mills. Everybody knows General Mills. They have this recipe website called tablespoon.com. The user, each action on site, they actually try to measure and create a content matrix to see, what sources that they were working, how they help them to achieve their KPIs. So they had all these actions on site. One of them was social sharing, the other one was subscription, the other one was join the newsletter, and the other one was download the coupon. So they put a weight, they put a score for each one of these actions, and by running the campaigns with all the vendors that they were running, they then created this content matrix, again, to evaluate what every action on site generated for them, and what piece of content and what sources were bringing to them. So it's all about how you measure and what sources are actually delivering the most qualified leads for you and driving revenue. So for you to be able to do that, you have to learn about your audience, put a pixel on the website, track everything, any pages visited, time spent, conversions, did they buy the product, did they visit the sedan page, did they visit the SUV page, did they drop off in the middle of the way, did they subscribe, did they not, did they engage with the video, track everything, create audience pools for every action on site so that you can learn what's relevant for them, and you are able to actually deliver the right message for each of these parts of the funnel. And then you can start improving your targeting. You can add layers to your targeting, so that you can actually start seeing better results. So split the campaigns by device, or use lookalikes. If you find an audience pool that is actually delivering good ROI, good lifetime value, create lookalike audiences so that you can scale the revenue. Use first-party data, use third-party data. DMPs are available. Be sure to be very targeted and explore these opportunities, these possibilities, But no matter what, don't forget to constantly optimize. Digital is about optimizing, it's about learning, it's about being more or less, placements that actually deliver the best results for you. It's about learning from creatives that you're running. What is more important for this guy? Talking about a break or talking about the size of the event? So learn what actually triggers the audience, what actually delivers the best results for you, and constantly A/B test and optimize. So that's, if you do this well, you're going to see better results for your business. And that's it. This is what I want to share with you. Thank you.